Bases are an essential part of an SMP to store valuables and stay safe from the chaos of the rest of the server, and most people tend to keep them hidden to stop other people from finding them. However, after only a few days, I was able to find almost every single baseless SMP, causing wars and conflicts to start, and all this was done using just one block. Going into the first day of this SMP, I had one plan in mind, and that was to kill as many people as possible. See, this is the HeadCraft SMP, and it's slightly different from our previous SMPs, because if another player kills you, you will drop a head, and the only way you can get revived after dying is if someone places your head down, and there's only two ways to get heads: to kill other people or crafting them. So these were very valuable items, and I had one goal in mind: to collect as many heads as possible to make me the richest player on this SMP, and that meant I'd have to start grinding as soon as possible in order to get an advantage. However, there was a problem. I wasn't the only person to have the idea of collecting heads. Quite a few people were advancing extremely fast, and in order to kill as many people as possible, I'd have to take a different approach. But in the meantime, I began getting as much gear as I could. The next day, the server already began descending into chaos, as one team had begun griefing bases near spawn, and they were the EDL. People were starting to get annoyed, so I temporarily formed an alliance with some other SMP members in order to kill them, but this would prove to be quite a hard task, as they immediately left spawn on the first day and constructed a base which they wouldn't leave. We tried many times to get them to come out and fight, but they were hiding, so the only way we could fight them is if we go to where they were. In the last SMP, we managed to kill EDL quite quickly by locating their base and attacking them while they were unprepared, and this gave our team the idea on how to attack them, but it also gave me my idea of how to kill as many people as possible. My plan was simple: if I could find everyone's bases, then they would have no safe place to hide. I could kill players one by one by attacking them and their bases when they least expected it. So if I used the attack on the EDL as a test, I could see if my plan could work. But the first issue soon arose. How would I find people's bases, since people already began running thousands of blocks away from spawn? So I need a way to find bases as fast as possible. By watching many videos and doing some research, I found out about this technique called pie charting, which is a very simple way to find bases without using hacks. The concept is simple. When you press F3, many things come up, and one of the main things people use is the coordinates. However, if you press shift, you can see a pie chart which appears, which shows many things such as entities, blocks and much more. But the main thing to find bases is block entities. These are specific blocks which are the easiest to detect on a pie chart and don't naturally spawn. One block in particular is the enchantment table. The only way to get these is to craft them. Therefore, they won't spawn in the wild, meaning the only place people will have them is in their bases. So we could use this by walking continuously and refreshing F3 till an enchantment table appears on the chart, and once it appeared, we knew we were close to their base, making it very easy to find any bases. So I started my plan.
No, Joel! I don't like this, yo.
I began hunting for bases over the course of 3 days, and finally, I found my first base. It was Kane's base. Now, SMPs, Kane was one of my main enemies, and although I was working with him to find the EDL base, having this information was very useful to me, so I continued hunting for bases. And day after day, I was finding more and more bases, but still no luck with finding the EDL base. After a few days, one of our teammates, Bart, had agreed to fight one of the EDL members, but there was a risk. If Bart won, he would get the EDL member's head and the resources, and we could use that as a bargaining tool to kill the rest of the EDL. However, if Bart lost, we would lose a teammate and the resources we gave to him, but there was a way we could reduce this risk. See, you can still respawn normally when a player kills you with a bow, so we let Bart 1v1 Ben. and unfortunately he lost. But since Ben killed him with a bow, Bart was still able to respawn normally, and the EDL didn't know about this, and they left the battle, but Miguel and Bart were slowly following them to get their general location, and soon we were able to find the entrance to their base, so Miguel made a portal close enough for us to raid, and so we waited for the right opportunity to take what we could and kill as many of them as possible. We were ready to attack their base. However, while everyone was offline, Bart had gone by himself to raid the base in order to get revenge for losing, and this made everyone else on our team angry at him, and our plan was now jeopardized as EDL knew we were coming for
What
him.
did you get from there?
I got a lot of diamonds and netherite ingots.
Bro, you're
How many
so
did you get?
Yo, Miguel, this guy's.
So we headed there as fast as possible to get to their base and hopefully kill them.
What? Yeah, go in.
Oh, rapid.
Easy. Fucking Bart took
Are we
all
not
the
shifting? We're just
shit.
going straight in.
Bro.
They're not here.
Bro.
Wait,
What?
how much of the base? Are you at the base?
Yeah.
How much of the fucking?
There's nothing here. There's literally nothing good here.
Bro, you're actually a dickhead, you know. I'm so
Pickaxe.
tempted, bro. I'm
1,200
actually
minus
so tempted.
1,000.
I need a.
80.
Yeah, they always
They
make.
got- they
Yeah, they can. They do make nice bases for some reason.
Fuck this Enderman, bro. It was a racial thing anyway.
You chatting
Yo.
shit, mate.
I actually walked around the fountain.
No, you're
Cheating
mad.
bastards, mate.
No, you're so bad.
Mate, that doesn't matter. Mate, we're miles away. You can have the base.
So mad, man. What the hell?
Shut the fuck up.
We had successfully won, but there was still one issue left, and that was Bart, who had caused the plan to nearly fail. Our whole team wanted his dead, and I could have used this as an opportunity to get another head, but then I realized there were 7 of us versus 1 of him, meaning I only have a 1 in 7 chance of getting his head. So instead I had a better idea. If I were to side with Bart, the rest of the team would be mad at me also, and although I wouldn't be able to kill Bart, I could attempt to kill the rest of the members of our team, but the sides were unfair, so if we lost, it would be the end of our time in the SMP, since no one would be able to respawn us. It was a high risk, high reward situation, and I decided it was the best thing to do. And after getting 2 other people, we had a small team formed. Our main goal was to kill the strongest team on this SMP, and now with the groundworks of my plan laid out, I knew what we could do. It was time to put my plan into action.